he's doing at ODM is something I did there 7 years ago. I was a youth leader in ODM when I was 22 years old.
Prove it, because this is just hearsay.
I even have a picture I'm going to show you right now. Just right now, not later. I was in ODM together with Kebaso Owino a long time ago. In fact, I remember at that time, I spent some of my HELB money to pay for a premium membership. I remember it was Kenya shillings 20,000. I had a lot of hope in ODM. I believed in it. My parents have supported ODM. I was at ODM at some point, so whatever he's doing now is something I did 7 years ago. So in terms of experience, political experience, I'm 7 years ahead of him, and I can give him a little bit of education about what happens in ODM. The first thing I'm going to tell him is one of the reasons we have corruption in Kenya is because there is corruption in political parties. Because when you sell tickets to candidates at a cost of 10 million to be a member of parliament, the first thing this person, when he becomes a member of parliament, will do will be to recover the money that they have spent.
I want us to stay away from hearsay because
now we are wondering.
All right.
Now then can the younger people organize?
Let's go into that
because we could also say the same of inject. Because
let me ask this question. Which are some of the most corrupt counties in Kenya in terms of the corruption index, wastage of public funds? Because corruption is not only in the UDA government.
The EACC is investigating all the counties.
The corruption
come back
is
to how
also,
the young people organize to take power. You have started your own party.
Let me just finish on my point.
To meet the president
corruption is also, do we agree that there's corruption in ODM counties?
In all counties.
We agree there's corruption in the inject as well. We've seen
actually corruption is a Kenyan problem.
Yes, said that
in your own party, which is supposed to be revolutionary.
Let's come back to the main members of the main idea is how do the young people organize
so that you
to participate,
make a change in
to participate either in leadership or to take power. Definitely joining the mainstream political parties is not the way.
Okay.
Because when we went for the Gen Z protests, we were denying or we were rejecting the old order of things, where there is mainstreamed corruption in our government, assisted by political parties, which they themselves have become corrupt within their ranks and encourage corruption and tokenism. So the best way would have been to run a movement based on new values, based on the new Kenya that we want to see as young people and the future that we want. Now, most of the political parties in Kenya, and this you'll agree with me, are actually ethnic-based. So you'll find there's a political party in Kenya for the people of Western, all right, like ANC and Ford Kenya. You'll find that there's a political party which most of its support comes from, like, he joined ODM because he's from that ethnic community. They want to hold meetings in Doluo. So that is why he thought it wise to join ODM party.
The membership of ODM is from the Western region, but that's not the answer.
So
because that's a different
because of that,
if you have to throw a jump, make it coherent.
Are ethnic. We are discussing political parties. Let me make my point slowly, because this is a new thing I'm introducing, so you'll not understand it. You're interrupting me because you're thinking the old way. I'm teaching you to think the new way. The old political parties have been based on ethnic communities. Now, one of the biggest problems we have in governance today in Kenya and in corruption is ethnicity and negative tribalism, where when someone steals money meant for a public road or a hospital, they run back to their tribal base and say, we are being targeted because we are Kikuyus. Hawa wanatuonea kwa sababu sisi ni Waluya. This is not about me, it is about sisi Wakamba kuwa targeted. So we need to do away with negative ethnicity. We just need to celebrate ethnicity as part of our identity, but it should not be a reason why we make political decisions. Now, the people who can lead the way in ending negative ethnicity in Kenya are the young people. And the reason the young people are the best candidates for that is because the young people, most of them have studied and have been exposed outside their counties. So you study in primary school where you were born, but you'd go maybe to high school in Machakos or in Western. Most of them have actually married or are dating girlfriends that are not from their ethnic communities. Some of them are a benefit of intermarriages across communities. You'll find your father is Luo, but your mother is from Kamba. So it is harder to sell tribalism to the young people of Kenya than it is to sell to our parents. That's why when we went for the Gen Z demonstrations, we said categorically, we are not our parents. So the best way for young leaders, because now we are talking about young people, these young people are going to be organized by young leaders like myself. The best way to do it is to form political parties that are not based on ethnicity, to form political parties that are nationwide.
Completely new.
The Secretary General of the Inject Party, he talks about the Inject Party not having an ideology. The Inject Party has an ideology. We have a party constitution. We have a party slogan saying, tunaamini itabadilika. We believe that it will change. If you look at our policy, if you look at Article 2.3 of the Inject Party Constitution. Number 1 is to fight corruption. Number 2 is economic transformation. Number 3 is civic empowerment. Number 4, institutional reform. Number 5, environmental sustainability. Number 6 is justice.
But those are points.
Those are ideologies of our party.
Every
now,
social studies textbook has that.
They might have it in writing. We have it at heart. My Secretary General at Inject Party is a Maasai. It's called Solonka Pareno.
Was he or was he not your classmate?
The person who is in charge, look, Orengo was with Raila.
That's what we are saying. What
is wrong with working with my classmate?
Yes, then what is wrong
if I trust him enough to work with him, it's exceptional. It's beautiful. How many classmates are working together?
We don't have a problem with you working
with the Secretary General.
But you blaming other people for doing the exact thing you're doing, is that what we have?
I've not blamed Raila for working with his classmates.
Yes. No.
I'm blaming him for taking advantage of the Gen Z demonstration, riding on the blood of the youth who have died to benefit himself economically and have positions in government.
You know, you've taken this thing where you want to legitimize your part of the struggle with blood. That's why you would lead people against the popular temper. For example, you took your people to Narok where only you were not hurt, but your teammates were hurt. So you want to legitimize your struggle thinking it deserves blood. And we keep on telling you that if you're trying to transform it...
So the only way I become part of my team is I'm hurt.
No. You're not listening.
Come on,
if you want to truly transform this country, you have to be absolutely honest in your dealings, because the thing which you're doing is trying to, and there's this narrative that you've been trying to see where you're driving sympathy or you're driving, I do not have a problem with you changing campaign financing, I do not have a problem with you unearthing projects. What I have a problem with is you trying to pull certain stunts to try and whip up emotion, because the new thing which you're trying to drive and which even your founding members...
Let me agree with you.
Yes, even your founding members...
If you have a part of this...
Can we also be part and parcel of this conversation? Because you asked the question and it's ended up being a Morara versus Kasmuel.
Only I know.
So
they need to
no,
meet
you're
in
not
parliament.
sorry.
No, sorry to Arnold.
You're not sorry.
To you, I'm not. To Arnold, I'm sorry.
Wait, so quickly, Trevor, let me say this. You ask a very important...
Earlier today, two heavy political weights who are for the future met on one stage, that is Citizen TV. This is Kasmuel, Mcoure and Morara Kebaso. This interview was very heated that if it was Jeff Koinange one, there will be a lot of using the firefighting equipment or killing the smoke by extinction. So it was very hot in short. But these people too were really arguing and many trying to justify his efforts. On the other hand, Morara Kebaso is trying to say that Inject Party is really doing well and it's organized, while Kasmuel is countering him, saying that why is it that the founding members are exiting. On the other hand, Morara Kebaso fires back and says that what you are doing in ODM, I did it many years ago. ODM party has no ideology for the youth. They have no plans for the youth. In fact, when you go to ODM, you even subscribe premium membership of 20,000. That is what Morara Kebaso used to do with his help. Looking at that very critically, then it does a kind of exposure for what is happening in ODM. On the other hand, Kasmuel fires back that Morara Kebaso is employing dubious people in his political party, giving his classmates job. But on the other hand, we saw Morara Kebaso come out to say that giving out job to friends is what is happening in ODM. We have seen how Raila is working with people who are even allowed to be his classmate, and the way he dishes out the membership or the seats or the vacants or even the membership party position when somebody is going to vie in a certain position. You know what happens in ODM. In other places, there is no nomination. It's directly being sponsored by Baba. Where I said left, they go left. So those are some of the exposés which have come out during this interview. On the other hand, Kasmuel accuses Morara Kebaso of really not having an ideology, and the party of Inject will not really work because there is no clear ideology which the party is presenting, and that's why he never even had second time about thinking of joining the Inject party. He says that Inject party has not stood test of time, and it was formed during the time when the agency of Kenya had says let's halt and think of our next move. Do you think it was right for Morara Kebaso to form a party during that time, or he just jumped on the efforts of the people? So this saga continues, and many social media clips are out there, so subscribe for more.